Hello there. Welcome to the second episode of Better Late with Mariela Segovia. I'm Mariela Segovia, and I'm going to be your host for this new episode, which, okay, here we're all about being honest. We're all about speaking from the truth. It has been very challenging to get this second episode going. I think I really enjoyed the first one. That was very natural and felt very easy and exciting. And it's obviously the introduction. So I had a lot to talk about. I had things to say. But now with the second one, I'm like, okay, well, what now? And there's endless ways that you can procrastinate and say to yourself that, well, now I'm going to have to focus on the art or the music or whatever else it needs to be. And it's easy to just put it on the back burner and not get to it. So it's been a second for me to get back in this couch of mine and talking to you guys. I think there's something so human about feeling fear and doing things that expose yourself and put yourself out there. And this is one of those. I am recording this before you guys even see the first one. So it's been weird. Okay, what are people going to think about it? What are people going to want to hear from me? Which of the stories that I have to tell should I pick from it? I literally have a Rolodex of things that I want to share, but I don't know which ones are going to be the ones that you care about the most. So for now, because this is, before you even get to know that there's a podcast out there, I'm just going to talk about what's happening in my life. What's happening in my life? I just got back from Miami 2 days ago. I went for my sister's graduation. She graduated from her associates. Now she's going into nursing school. And my sister is such a badass. She's literally 21 years old, about to turn 22. And she works a full-time job to help pay for her studies. And she does not rest. She does not give it a rest. And I am there to constantly be like, dude, you need to chill. And it's funny how when we're younger, we feel like time is of the essence and that we're running out of time and that we need to do everything at the same timeline that everyone is doing things. And as you get older, you kind of fall back into wait a second. It's better late to do things than never do them. And I try to give her that always because I am the biggest pro do things on your own time and kind of don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. I will say it. I will get it tattooed somewhere at some point in my life. And yeah, I'm always reminding her of that. And I think she's caught on to it a little bit. She's still I'm so tired, but I need to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to work out. And I'm like, bro, literally just sleep. But it's fine. That's her experience. And as a big sister, I'm just here to support and hear her things and try to guide her the best I can. But in the end, she's going to make her own mistakes and do whatever the fuck she wants. That's just how it goes, doesn't it? Doesn't it go that way? So Miami is an interesting experience for me because I lived there for a year and a half. And it was my landing spot when I first moved to the States. It was where I knew people, where I had family. And I am so grateful to Miami because it gave me a starting point, right? It gave me the confidence I needed to realize, okay, I have talent. I can do this thing. I did a bunch of commercials and I worked on some voiceover stuff and I auditioned for the big channels there, Univision, Telemundo. So I was like, okay, people are interested in me. And without that, I don't think I would have been able to be okay, well, if I have this here, I'm probably going to have that exact same experience in LA. Oh, what a great rude awakening that was. It was very humbling, truly, because I had two agents, one in Spanish, one in English, and I also had an agent for voiceover stuff only. And I was like, what? I'm so ready for LA. And I planned to do my whole move to LA in, I think, September of 2019 was when I decided I'm moving, I'm doing this after this exploration trip I took for a week. I was like, okay, let me see how I feel. Let me see how LA feels to me. I had only been to LA once before. It was with my dad when I was about probably like 12, 13, and it was awful. We stayed at a hotel in the middle of the desert. We had to drive like an hour and a half to get to what LA felt like. And it just wasn't what the movies pictured, or like it wasn't what the movies taught me LA was going to be like. I remember my dad and we got to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I was so excited to look for Britney Spears. And it was so dirty. It was nasty. We also got there, I don't know why, so late and at night. We were just exhausted. And it was nasty, dirty. There was like all these disgusting smells and a lot of people that felt dangerous. And I was like, yeah, they do not tell you this in the movies when they're doing their whole like, oh, someone landed in Hollywood. Let's go see the stars. That's not what I experienced. Funny enough, it is what I experience now. I do feel like that version of the movies is what I get to experience and live now. But at that time, I don't think we had a great like guidance on what the tourism should be in LA. So that first impression of LA to me was dirty and nasty and not what I wanted to do. So I kind of had that in my mind for a long time. And obviously, as an actress, Hollywood is the mecca, right? There's only one Hollywood. There's a Bollywood, but that's a whole another industry that I don't know what I'm ready for. Also, I don't even like spicy food. How am I going to survive in India? I can also learn a few steps, but I don't think I can do like a full choreography. Like in Bollywood industry. I don't think that's my thing. But anyways, I took that exploratory trip for a week. I've been obsessed with John Mayer. No, I'm not so obsessed with him anymore, but why am I shaking? I don't know why I'm shaking when I'm talking about John Mayer. Jesus. Whew. I took a trip and I built it all around the fact that he was having a concert at the Forum, at the Kia Forum, and I had never seen him live, and I built a trip around that. So I wanted to know what was happening in LA. I had a friend that had just moved to LA probably like a few weeks ago, even maybe a month. And he was like, okay, you can stay on my couch if you want to come and like see what's up. And I did that. I booked a class, an acting class to go audit. I had that concert and I also had a date. I managed to get a date. I am on this app called Raya. They say it's for celebrities, but I'm not a celebrity. I've also been on it since 2019. So people that are on it right now and they're like, I just got on Raya. I've been there. I didn't get any referrals either. I just got in. I think I had some of that like following from the radio days and the improviso days from when I lived in Venezuela that made me like a personality like online, having more than, I don't know, 4,000 followers. You already are like something, I guess. I don't know what they looked at, but they accepted me. And I would see John Mayer on it all the time. And I saw Andrew Garfield and I still see him sometimes. And it's so sad that we don't match ever. We never match. Back to where this story's going. There was this guy that this is so funny. If he ever sees this, he's going to realize that I was a fraud. Because I knew who he was. He went on The Bachelorette. He was a contestant on a season of The Bachelorette that I watched. And I saw him on the app and I was like, I'm absolutely going to like him and see if we match. We did. And we were talking for a little bit. And then, he lived in LA. I lived in Miami. It was perfect timing for me to, hey, I'm actually going to be in town. So I hit him up and I got myself a date. So I had a full week of things to do in LA. And after that week, I decided that I could do this. It felt scary. It definitely felt a little bit like party in the USA. Hopped up the plane. It's like a little scary. You don't really know how you're going to fit in. That's exactly how I felt. But there was also this excitement about the unknown and about what I could possibly build here that moved me and that excited me about it. So I decided to move. When I got back to Miami, I was like, okay, I'm putting all my efforts, all my money, everything, I'm putting it into moving to LA as soon as possible. I set January. And then things got a little not complicated, but I was making a lot of money and I was like, hell, I need to make more of this money to move to LA. So my date to move was on February 2nd. I got the plane ticket. My friend Pimpy, who I'm probably going to talk about a lot in this podcast because she's one of my soul sisters. She was my roommate in Miami, and to this day, like, one of the first people I reach out to whenever anything great is happening or anything shitty is happening. And she was like, you need to buy that freaking plane ticket. Because I was just like, yeah, I'm moving. And she was like, well, where's the ticket? When are you buying it? And I did it in her couch of her newly moved into apartment. We all left this 3-bedroom apartment we'd had, and she found this amazing 1-bedroom in the same building. So it was like a move, but kind of homey still. And in that couch, she was like, you need to do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's freaking go. So I got the ticket February 2nd with my birthday being on the 4th. And yeah, I just like doing things like that, like monumental. So I set everything to move in February 2020. Yep. You're probably now realizing that was a month before the pandemic started. Oh, what a time. But this story is about Miami and how it built me the confidence to move to LA. And oh, what a humbling experience it was when I got here, because the industry is so different here. So different. And it took me not that long to find an agent for commercial stuff. But I just got a manager and a really good theatrical agent. I don't know, last year. After 4 years of trying to figure it out and how to get to it. It's that story of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, how do you get the auditions? Well, you need a manager. Well, how do you get a manager? Well, you need to audition a lot. You need a reel. And it's like, how do you get work that you can show if you don't have someone finding it for you? A whole thing. If you're curious about that, I'm happy to do a whole episode about the acting of it all and how the industry here kind of moves and what's worked for me. I can't say that my version of it is the version for everyone, but it's definitely a similar one to a lot of people that I've met. And something that I've learned about my time in LA, I think if you're trying to make it into acting, I don't think you can really have a deadline. I don't think you can have okay, I'm going to do this for 2 years, and if it doesn't work out, I'm gone, because you probably are going to be gone. I think the important part is believing in yourself enough that you know you're going to make it, being a little delusional about it. A lot of delusional about it. And it doesn't matter if anyone else believes it. As long as you do, and you have that strength to be like, this is what I want to do, it'll move you and you'll do whatever you need to do to get by and to come closer to that experience. And in the meantime, you're being a human and you're living. And I don't know who it was. I think it was was it De Niro or was it Al Pacino? I don't know who it was, but I saw it recently, this quote about living is the best source for your acting. So live your life and do the things you need to do. It's essential. If you're trying to portray people, you have to be people. And if you're constantly just thinking about the acting and the auditions and the managers and the things I didn't get and the things I do get and the act, like, also be a human, like have friends and have hobbies and build yourself a life that is sustainable to wait for your moment. It takes patience. If there's anything I've learned in my 5 years of living in LA, you need to have patience because it does happen for everyone. You do make it as long as you're not on a deadline, as long as you're willing to wait for it. Did I think I was going to be in when I moved, did I think I was going to be saying these things 5 years in? No way. I was like, I don't know if I have that much time to give to it. I have all my life to give to it, if you ask me right now. I think there's different levels of making it. For some people, making it will be, I've made it once, I've won an Oscar. For some other people, it will be, I'll make it when I can just pay all my bills from acting, even if it's as a background actor. For some other people, it'll be as soon as I'm a series regular, I know I've made it. There's so many different ways of making it. And this town has space for everything and everyone. And I've learned that it'll happen for me. It's going to happen for me. It's kind of already happening a little bit. I've been getting a lot of acting work done. I had this vertical series that I was in as a small role, but fun role. So funny. When I was in college, sometimes people would tell me that I look like Mia Khalifa because I have these like strong features and I wear glasses. Well, I hadn't been so Mia Khalifa'd in my life as I did for this short film or for this short series. Guys, when I tell you, they were like, bring the pushiest of push-ups and we're going to make your makeup really vampy, really, and they added the glasses. They added glasses. I wear glasses. They could have just told me, like, just bring your glasses. Nope. They were the big, thick frame, black thing. Yeah. But hey, it was time on set, and time on set is time we like. Every day that I can make money on set and not doing any of my survival jobs, I am so grateful for. I was talking about Miami. What was happening with Miami? Oh, yeah, Miami was my landing spot. And landing spot sounds weird. Why does it sound weird to me? I have a dirty mind. That's a fact. My mind goes to places. I don't know what to tell you. Miami. I was just in Miami. I saw my dad, who still lives in Venezuela. And every time I get to see him, it's, a blessing because he lives in a country that is so hard to go to these days and even get out of these days that whenever he's here, it's just, a blessing. But in a way, it's interesting how, because I live in a city by myself where I do my own thing on my own terms as I want to do. It's so strange when I go back to this, okay, I'm a daughter of someone. I'm not the leader of this pack right now. My dad is. So it's so strange. It kind of like regresses you. Is that a word? Regress? Regression? Yeah, of course that's a word. I didn't know if it was a word in Spanish or in English. Sorry. It's my bilingual brain thinking right now. Yeah, I think it regresses me to who I was when I wasn't on my own and like when I was part of this like, family unit that moves as a unit. It's not individuals thinking, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. Like, no, it's like the collective. It's interesting. In ways, it felt like reliving a lot of things, good and bad, because I don't think anyone's experience, like as a kid, is fully one thing, fully bad or fully good. I had great times. My dad is a great guy. He loves me to death. We just have different ways of explaining our love and showing our love. So sometimes that clashing moment is like, oh, right, I forgot that this is how you think about things. Awkward. But I love him to death and my sister. And we were both so proud to be there with her. We didn't even plan to do it. My dad planned this trip, and I was like, okay, well, if my dad is coming to Florida, I have to go and see him. And we just did that. And then a couple of weeks later, my sister was like, by the way, it looks like I have a graduation and it happens to be that same weekend that you guys are going. We couldn't have planned it better. So we were both there for her. So proud, so nice. My sister is like the light of my dad's eyes. She's like the baby, the one that he knew what to do with. I don't think dads or parents know what to do with their first kid. They're just figuring it out. And with the second one, it's like, oh, we've gone down this road. So we have very different relationships. My dad and I, and my sister and my dad, completely different. And sometimes it's hard to see. It's hard to understand that we have been through different things and we have different moms. And that makes our experiences as daughters of this one same person different. But it's all love. I think I've grown and healed a lot of things to know that my dad has been doing the best he can with the tools he's had. And to this day, I think that's what happens with everyone too. It's just easier to think about it that way. If you really think about how empathy can give you an easier experience as a human, and understanding that when people are treating you a certain way or doing things a certain way that don't really match with you, they're not doing it against you. They're not doing it because, it's just that's how they know how to do things. Bonus points to whoever goes to therapy and tries to reformulate that and kind of get into all of it. I've done a lot of therapy. That's why I can talk so much. Sometimes I feel like I'm the entertainer when I'm on a date. I feel like should I shut up? Because I've just gotten so used to talking about my feelings and so easily and like putting words to them. So sometimes people don't do that and it's weird. It's not weird. Although everyone should go to therapy. But yeah. that's some subject for a different episode. Another episode that I would need to tell you the story of. Let's go back to when I first moved to LA, and it was like the 2nd of February was my landing day. It was a Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl where Shakira and J-Lo shook their asses off for everyone and killed it at it too. That same day, I was flying from Miami, where everyone wanted to be in Miami that day. I wanted to get the fuck out of there that same day. I still made it in time to watch the Super Bowl halftime, which is, all that matters. I went straight into this bar, Rocco's on Santa Monica Boulevard. Oh, love that place. Love that place. Gay bar with the best of things, with the hottest of bartenders. I may have dated a bartender from there. And just a great vibe. It's just like, just go and be yourself and dance and everything. And that was my first spot that I ever went to in LA. And I watched the Super Bowl from there. And there were drag queens dressed up as Shakira and J-Lo. And it was amazing. But the next day, I had an audition. The exact next day, I had an audition for Universal Studios to be a character on the park, which I was like, that would be a great, day job to be impersonating a character at Universal Studios and talking to people and doing all that. I don't think I was in casting for that so much. It was Daphne from Scooby-Doo. That's a story for a different episode because it is chef's kiss. I think I've shared my piece. It's crazy how as I start talking, I feel more confident that there's going to be people that are going to relate to what I'm saying, and it feels really good. And I hope you do. And I hope you tell me about it. And I hope you follow in on this crazy journey of life, and that my stories and my weird things that I say in English, in Spanish, and in Spanglish get to you and make you feel like you're not alone in this thing we call life. I feel very zen today. I'm wearing these like pajama pants that are very comfy, but I feel like I'm like oming through this Better Late episode. Look us up in Spotify, Better Late with Mariela, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, and follow me on Instagram at Mariela Segovia. And if you want to follow the pod too, is at Better Late Mariela. All right. I'll see you guys in a new episode. Bye.